Hello, Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, guys, and this is TransurfingTV. And today on TransurfingTV, why aren't you listening? I know some of you are probably thinking that I'm asking, why aren't you listening? I guess I kind of am a little bit to some of you. You know who you are. But this video is more about why you aren't listening to the voice of your heart more. In Reality Transurfing steps 1 through 5, Vadim Zeland makes it very, very, very clear that living your life with the volume of your mind turned up and the volume of your heart turned down is like a recipe for disaster, right? I mean, this is why we sort of classically, a classic example, the midlife crisis. This is why we sort of all kind of head in this direction collectively if we're not living our lives with awareness, right? If we aren't understanding of where it is we are working from and why we are working from that place. And as transurfers, we are given another choice, right? We can call it out. I'm living my life from the perspective of what my mind wants, right? I'm playing in to all of those demands and all of those things that my mind wants me to do, not trusting that my heart also has some ideas that could work out even better for me in my reality, right? And this one was a wildly huge one for me to overcome because, as I've said before a number of times, I was the queen of inner intention. I was the queen of working from my mind, right? This was my modus operandi that I became very comfortable with, and anytime that my heart wanted to do something, it was like an immediate shutdown, I mean, there were certain things that came through, like when I bought my boat, when I bought my sailboat, right? My heart really, really did want that. After I got the boat, though, my mind went to work in telling me all the ways that the boat was actually complicating my life. And in my opinion, my mind convinced me that I needed to sell the boat, even though my heart didn't want to do it. And looking back on that retrospectively, I realize now that there was definitely a way to integrate what it was that my heart wanted while also pleasing my mind, but not being held captive by my mind. And this is where I sort of see people existing with this knowledge sometimes, people that are absolutely held captive by their minds and just not listening to the voice of the heart, or not allowing the voice of the heart to actually speak or be heard. So there's two different sort of problems, if you want to call them problems, with the heart. It's one, not allowing it to speak when it's trying to speak, or two, the voice is so muted and it's been stuffed down so many times that the voice almost isn't even there anymore. And I know some people close in my life that this has happened to. And when you do this for an extended period of time, continue to deny the heart what it wants and tell the heart to quiet down, the mind knows better. The mind has a better plan. What happens is you kind of dig a hole for your heart and you bury it in there. And at a certain point, if the heart is to be heard, and this again happens in sometimes the later stages in life, late 30s, 40s, 50s, midlife crisis time, that heart is going to have to go to extreme measures to be heard. It's kind of like You know, you've buried it alive and it's got to break out. It's got to explode out of there. And this is when people do radical things in their life, get a divorce after decades, completely leave a corporate career behind, make some kind of massive move, sell your house, move to a foreign country, you know, do something big and radical and explosive. And the cool thing about reality transurfing is it doesn't have to come to that. I mean, sometimes that's what's necessary and sometimes that's what's fun. I've definitely done that myself, and I'm very happy to have had those experiences. But now I don't have to completely like destroy my life that was built up by my mind, or the parts of my reality that was built up by my mind, so I can allow my heart to have a place. My heart always has a place. My heart always has a say, because I have built my reality to support my heart having a say. Like right now, what my heart wants to do is buy a camper van and go and travel the US and just live in the camper van. And my mind's like, well, what are you going to do with your house? And oh, it's going to be summertime and all your plants are going to die. And oh, what is your partner going to think about this? But then I go, you know what? No, remember that when the heart truly wants something and it is intended for you, your mind will work out the equation with you, which is exactly what it's doing now, right? I say I let my heart decide and I let my mind get involved in the logic. So this is me sort of creating a reality where both voices can be heard and both voices can work out the equation so I can get more of what it is that I want. Now, this video is for those of you that are still struggling with either hearing the voice of your heart or listening, right? So again, I'll get into the difference in a moment. Before I get started, remember to like this video and comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And follow us on the Facebook group, International Transurfing Institute Facebook group. Links below for the courses and Instagram and all the other social media stuff. Okay, so why aren't you listening? Number one, I'm going to break this down. I've been into these 5 steps lately. I think well, this one's actually 6, but I've been into this like just getting into it and following the system, right? Following steps that somebody before you has taken to see exactly what works and what doesn't work and the quickest route from point A to point B. Now, saying that, obviously your experience of reality is different than mine, and it's about you coming up with a system where you can ask yourself, am I living the reality I want? Yes. What can I do more of that's going to help me live an even better reality? And if no, what actions can I start taking right in this very moment to sort of evolve my version of reality? So step 1, first question, obviously, are you living the reality you want? I know, like, I just kind of like throw this out, you know, like it's such an easy thing to answer. And I get it that it's not, because these are big, huge, meaty topics that might completely dismantle your current version of reality. But asking yourself is the first step in the process. Are you living the reality that you want? Meaning, are the logistics of your reality what you want them to be? Your romantic partner, your profession, how you're living your life, your lifestyle, where you're living, what makes up your reality, right? The set and decorations. Are you happy with all of this stuff? Or rather, is all of this stuff satisfying? Is it bringing you pleasure? Right? Are you feeling pleasured by your current version of reality? And when you can answer this honestly to yourself, again, first step in a pretty in a pretty substantial and meaningful process to come. This is revolutionary if you are, first of all, just finding reality transurfing. This is a good video for you to watch because this is where the fork occurs. Are you living the reality you want? And if it's no, right, it's time to see where you're working from and what it is you're listening to that is creating your experience of reality. So that brings me to number 2. Give a ratio to how much say your heart has and how much say your mind has. So pre-transurfing reality for me, my mind had 90% of the say and my heart only had 10. Now I can wholeheartedly say it's 50-50. My heart says yes first. If it doesn't say yes, it is an absolute no-go. My heart says yes first, and then my mind either jumps on board immediately, yep, this is good, we're definitely doing this, or if there's a little resistance from the mind, my mind gets involved in the logic to work out the details. And again, if the heart says yes, and that thing is truly intended for me, my mind and my reality will definitely work out the scenario to where I can have the thing. It's awesome. It's like all you really need to do is listen first to your heart, let your mind get involved and trust your world, and it will absolutely work out the deal. So 3, do you know what your heart wants, but you aren't listening? Okay, so this is for those of you that are continuing to let your mind override that voice. Your heart might be calling you to do something, but your mind is like still doing its business of convincing you that it will work, or convincing you that it's not the right move to make, or convincing you that there will be consequences, right? Some sort of financial consequence, something happening to you, you giving up something, you experiencing some sort of risk, right? Or loss, or something like that. So asking yourself, does my heart really know what it wants and I'm just not listening to it? And if this is you, I know this is like not the quickest solution, but it's probably time to go back and read Reality Transurfing steps 1 through 5 and figure out all the ways that you can tune into your world so your world can help you in showing you that it absolutely is going to be okay. You will survive. And not only will you survive, your layer of reality, your version of reality is going to improve immensely, especially if you answered number 1, no, right? Are you living the reality that you want? If you're saying no, you're not living the reality you want, and then also you're saying that your heart knows what it wants, but you're not listening, there's the rub. There it is, right? So number 4, do you not know? This is the second sort of most common problem with the heart, is the voice isn't even there. Because you have sort of quieted it for so long, it doesn't even want to say anything anymore. It's like, I'm not even going to try anymore because I know when I try, I just get told to shut up by the mind. So if you are in this state, if you are in number 4, not even knowing what your heart has to say, this is going to be something that you're going to have to address in kind of a big way, right? My course, Becoming Magnetic, I talk about this quite a bit. Tuning in to self-love and self-care in a major and massive way, reconnecting with nature, getting involved in little creative projects that bring you a lot of pleasure, diving in to caring for yourself and doing what it is that you love, even if it's just small little things that are healthy, right? Your heart's not going to figure out what it wants by you sitting and watching Netflix every night after your 9 to 5, right? You got to get in there and open up a space where you can allow your heart to actually start speaking again. Again, nature, self-care, self-love, doing things that bring you great pleasure, that are healthy for you. These are all exercises that will nourish that voice and get it speaking again. Once you're onto something, do more of the same and get that voice speaking more and more and more and more. And if you can see this activity through, it will tell you something substantial. My heart's speaking to me all the time now, but again, this is the exact process that I had to take in order to get that voice speaking more loudly again. 5, what can you do to feed your heart more? So I know this is a little bit redundant, but again, stepping back and asking yourself, what kind of space, what kind of mode can I get into where I'm allowing my heart to be nourished, right? And getting in to really making that your intention for the time being, nourishing your heart. So self-development is a great way to do this, but again, it's only going to work if you're actually willing to take the steps and not just retain the knowledge. This is where a lot of people absorb a lot of these ideas and these concepts and this knowledge. They don't apply them, therefore they don't see the results in their reality. So finding what you can do to nourish your heart more, and then setting the intention that you're actually going to listen once your heart has said something meaningful. This is like a powerful, like 1-2 punch, right? It's really going to put you in an entirely new direction if you let it, right? And if you move on it. These are really valuable steps. And 6, set the intention to really connect with your soul frail. So remember, the soul frail is like that specific little code that's just ours of what it is our heart and our soul wants. And once you dial in to this soul frail, you start to resonate at a frequency that corresponds to a higher layer of reality that you automatically begin to merge with. This is what's happened for me. But I had to set the intention that I was going to do the things that I needed to do in order for me to tune into my soul frail more and actually make it a thing, right? Actually do the work, actually connect with the things that are intended for me, and evolve those things and flow with those things and work with those things with both heart and mind to the extent that I'm tuned, right? I'm tuned to that soul frail. Therefore, I'm accessing a higher and better version of reality that is specifically intended for me. Not me living the standards of pendulums, living with my mind having all the say, living an acceptable version of reality, right? Because that's what the pendulums want for me and my life. This is me getting rid of a bunch of that stuff and setting the intention to dial into my soul frail, whatever it's going to take, and moving in that direction instead. So You know who you are. There's a few of you that I'm pretty close with that I know you get all this stuff, but you're still not listening to the voice of your heart and your mind is still working on overdrive, right? So what do you need to do to like switch that around now? What steps can you start taking today to get yourself into an environment where the voice of your heart can be heard a little bit, right? Or if it's saying something now, getting yourself into a place where you can actually listen and make some moves in your reality that are going to be meaningful for your experience of it, right? So let me know your thoughts on this video, everybody. I know it's kind of a big, juicy topic, and I'm curious to hear, are you listening? Are you listening to your heart? Do you need to listen a little more? And what do you think you can do starting today to experience some better results in your life by following some of the stuff that I've just talked about? So remember to subscribe, like, all that jazz, and thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good one, guys. Bye.